this in shows. Like Matt Warren, the reason he sells so much, he'll flag people down. Like, I want to think about people, like he'll walk and go get them. Right? Same thing at your campus. I'll stand out to the side of the table and I'll holler at them. Like, basically catcall, except not get kicked off the campus. And I'll throw him out. Like, if I see a sharp kid like Luke wearing his Florida shirt or Florida State, I'm kidding. But if I see him wearing his Florida shirt, I'll be like, hey, flexible schedule's perfect around football season. Hey, 17-25 base pay. Hey, great experience. Just throw out something that you feel would intrigue them. Because you see so many kids, they just have this blank stare. Like they're doing their zombie walk to class, scrolling Instagram, and you're like, hey, look, you're possibly looking for some extra work, flexible schedule, 17-25 base pay. Well, it's like, hey, it's on the sheet. Right, get in contact with you. So be aggressive when you're at the table. On-campus interviews, most of these schools, especially if you have a school where a high percentage of people don't have cars, or it's a further away school, just when you set up the table, reserve a classroom right afterwards to do on-campus interviews. Makes sense. A lot of companies do it. Just ask. Clemson, we had this nice boardroom. I could do it anytime I wanted. Ran some trainings in there. Nice stuff. Small schools are great. And then this is a productivity nugget, which I think involves in campus, because a high percentage of these kids are not local. So the pullback, I'll do a pullback in training, like we all do. And then I'll do a pullback for all of my non-local kids after that, or all my college kids, because even if they're local and they're in college, I want them to hear this. And anyone, I mean, if they're in campus and if you're doing your Sharps kids, like they're going to be in that pullback anyway. But talk to them, build some rapport. Like, yeah, for students in your situation, we really have two different paths that you could go. Number one is the virtual demo program. So you do that. Here's the thing, the virtual and in person, the results are the exact same as long as you have product conviction, right? In the in-person demo, honestly, you can do a crappy demo and they'll be like, cut with it and buy because the knives are awesome. But when you have product conviction, it doesn't matter. So what we want to do is have you go home 1 weekend of your fast start just so you can see and understand how superior our product is to anything they're going to own. Then you'll have conviction on your demos. And send them home either first or second weekend of their fast start. 80% of my kids that I launch from school go home 1 weekend during their fast start. And they crush it. Especially the further they drive, the more they crush it. One, they've got some skin in the game. And two, they've got a week to build this up. So they'll have 3 on Friday, 7 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, and then drive back. And then they crush it. You do your post-fast start piece, and you're like, yeah, let's break this down. Let's say your friend had a $10 hour job, 20 hours a week, 15 hours or 10 hours for the semester. By that point, usually there's 10 weeks. They make $2,000. Luke, you just sold, $2,500 this weekend. If you went home 1 weekend a month, you would work 3 days a month and make as much as your friends who work 20 hours every single week. And then you get them bought into going home 1, 2, or 3 times a month. And then supplement with virtuals. So if you want more questions on that, I can walk you through it. But if all you do is just understand you're not asking a ton for them to go home 1 weekend, especially in September, they probably miss their parents anyway. And if not, their parents miss them. And then we'll wrap up with this. Have a whatever it takes attitude. Our job's really simple, right? And it starts with you and your belief. Right? Like, I know that we don't scam kids. I operate from a position of strength. I love when career services tells me I can't be on campus. Because I view that as a challenge and I don't like to lose. I'll meet with them several times if needed to, and in the meantime, I'll be active advertising Ninja on their campus until I have that social proof, but we're going to have good relationships. Jordan Belfort has a quote, "The only thing standing between you and your goal is the bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it." In the fall, every person we want is on campus. And after being a district manager for this long, I've seen everything. I've seen schools that love us, schools that hate us, schools that let us on and then wouldn't, schools that wouldn't let us on and then did. I've had days on campus that resulted in 0 launches. I've had a day on campus where I signed 40, in February from Clemson University. Multiple branch managers came out of that. Multiple assistant managers came out of that. I've recruited branch managers from big universities. I've recruited branch managers from community college. I've had access to classroom emails. I've not had access to classroom emails. I've had some schools that let us card and wouldn't. Some would take down our posters immediately. Others would stay up until Christmas break. I've seen it all, and I've recruited kids from all of them. So I'll wrap up with this. I'm excited for this year because I get to work, and I get to build. We don't have time, Mike. Can I tell a story?
You're good, man.
Perfect. I'm going to tell you guys a story. Mike actually helped me with this, believe it or not, summer kickoff. I remembered you talking about the story of you getting locked in the trunk and how that helps you realize a limiting belief. And I've been doing a lot of growth and coaching to the point where I'm aware of shortcomings, but I didn't really understand. And one thing I've known that I had the tendency to be successful and then let my foot off the gas. And I started thinking, when did that start? Because I wasn't always like that. And then I remembered that it started in middle school basketball. And I realized, as sad as it sounds, I hadn't tried my absolute best at something since I was in 7th grade or 8th grade. So here's what happened. Growing up, I loved sports, and I really wanted to be this all-star athlete. Because I thought that would make me happy and my parents happy, and that was just this vision. So in basketball, I love basketball. Now, you can probably look at me and be like, I think I know where this story's going. You don't really like a stereotypical basketball star, but anyway. I came home and practiced every day. Still to this day, I have a mean jumper. Play good defense. I'm a hustler. And the first opportunity I would have to make the team was in middle school when they had tryouts. So in 7th grade, tried out and made the team. I was fired up. I didn't get to play much, but I was fired up. I had a couple games, got a couple baskets. But the coaches were like, hey, next year, you keep doing what you're doing, that's going to be your time to shine. So we get to 8th grade. Ready to roll. Right? And the school I went to was kind of a lower income high school, one of those ones that you probably don't keep kids from. And there was a group of about 5 kids who all got left back in 7th grade the year before, so they couldn't try out when they got left back. But then the next year, they all made the team, and that was essentially the starting 5. And so I got about as much playing time the next year. And I still remember to this day going to a game at my best friend's school. And like his parents came, he came, this girl I kind of like came, and all this stuff. And I didn't get in the game the whole time. And I remember at that point just feeling like broken. And a part of me said, well, if I'm going to give my best and this could happen, why even try? But the thing I love about this business and the thing that I've come to realize, this job, it doesn't matter how tall you are. It doesn't matter what other people do or what situation other people are in. All of us have a territory with hundreds of thousands of people. And if you have a 100,000 person territory and you launch 0.5% of your population, that's 500 launches next year. All that matters in this business is, do you learn your craft? Do you care about your people? And do you work? If you do those 3 things, you can be as great here as you want to be. So I challenge you this fall. Don't look for excuses. Look for ways to make it happen.
Darren, thank you for bringing some flavor to a message that can be bone dry. I thought that was really, really well prepared and well executed. Appreciate that. Okay, so, listen, I think this is a highly anticipated message, and I plan to deliver it a big way. I want to start by just kind of putting reality in front of you, right? So I think things that we don't focus on don't improve, right? Where focus goes, energy flows. And one of the things that I'm very prideful about is that zero seller ratio. And the reason is because I don't know this, I didn't do this research. Some of you in here are research numbers people. Feel free to corroborate this prediction and this thesis. But here is my thesis. My thesis is this. If you look at your zero seller ratio, and if your zero seller ratio is in that neighborhood of 40, 50 or more percent, I bet that you could look at your PR show and I bet it's below region average. I bet you could look at your interview show to training, it's below region average. I bet you could look at almost every efficiency number and you would see that it's being affected. And so the question is why? Like, why do you think I have this thesis? And some of you are going to do the research, and some of you, and you will corroborate this. Like, it will happen. You'll be like, oh, yep, Bryan was right. Why? Why do you feel like that influences all these other recruiting efficiency? No, we're not talking, I'm not starting this message off with like sexy, cool productivity shit, right? I'm talking about recruiting to start.
Because those kids talk shit.
Because those kids talk shit, because those kids don't have a good experience, because then it's harder to set their friends, then it's hard to get them to show to the interview, then it's hard to get them launched from the training seminar. If you're in that 40-50% zero sellers ratio, I bet your show to interview, show to training, launch from training, I bet all that stuff is below average. And what's crazy is, if all you did was decrease that zero seller ratio by 10+%, I bet you would see every other one of those recruiting efficiencies increase. Some of them maybe only 1 or 2 or 3%. Others of them it might be 4 or 5 or 10%. Right? So like one of the things I really try to challenge myself on is like every day, week, campaign, year is deepening my cognitive understanding of certain KPIs and KRAs, right? Key performance indicators, key result areas, like retention dynamics, culture dynamics, right? And I'm very intentional, whether it's, productivity or retention or like deepening my understanding. And I understand that this number influences everything else, especially the reputation that your organization has in your market. Especially that. So, I'm gonna put some numbers in front of you, and this is gonna hurt. So you see United here at 40% as a division. This is a Gulf side. You see some as high as, 50%. Lowest on here is 14%. Recruited 28 people for the summer, did $225,000. Holy shit. It's like an $8,000 This is the Caribbean side, 41%. Berto crushing it there with 10 recruits with some. This is Atlantic, 51%. I just gotta say it, guys, that's fucking brutal. I mean, that's so brutal. Some at 60%, 63%. Here's Georgia, 40% divisionally. Here's Carolina, 38% divisionally. Coastal at 40%. And here's Virginia at 32%. Now, let me start with kind of like shaping your mindset as I go into the instructional content of this. So if you see me there at 23%, I was having this conversation on the porch. Maybe it was with you, Amir? Chris? Someone this weekend. We were having beers and we were talking about the fact that I was going to be giving this message, and let me just kind of like put this in perspective. I am absolutely baffled by the fact that I had 43 people launch out of my training seminar and sell nothing. That is fucking crazy to me. That's unbelievable. And my number's 23%, and I feel like this. Like, I hope that this gets across to you, because if I feel like this at 23%, if you're at 50, if you're at 40, if you're at 35, like, something needs to be, you need to have some sort of visceral response coming out of this. Like, mind-blowing to me that 48, we watched 200 people at 25%, it means that 50 fucking people didn't even sell a trimmer to their mama. What? Baffles me. It's really, even as I sit here and talk to you, this is hard for me to comprehend. And I'm at 23%, 25%. I think that sucks, just so you know. If you were to say, hey, do you feel good about your zero sell ratio? I would say, hell no. You're telling me that 25% of people that go through my training seminar don't even sell a trimmer? Don't even sell a peeler? A pair of shears? Are you serious? This is a place we have to start, guys. I mean, unless we really look ourselves in the mirror as a region team and as individuals regarding this doesn't improve. By the way, if you're at 40%, right? 50%, 40, 50%. You know what you did? You wasted your money. You know all those PRs you worked so hard to set? Worth fucking nothing. They were worth nothing. You set PRs, they were worth nothing. How much of your time did you spend doing that? How much of your receptionist time did they spend doing that? How much of your assistant manager's time did they spend doing that? And it was worth nothing. Half the people didn't even sell a damn thing. Pissed away your money, your time, your energy. And in fact, what you did is, in doing so, in throwing away time, money, and energy, you also simultaneously soured your organization. Soured your recruiting market. And I'm sorry, this is the way that I'm starting. This is probably not what you were expecting. I don't want this to feel like I'm up here preaching, because, like I said, my shit sucks too. Fucking 50 people sold nothing out of 200. That's awful. So this is not me making you the villain. I'm really trying to get this across that we have to pay attention. How many of you even looked at this? How many of you even knew what this report was, saw this report prior? All right, good. Well, shit, if that's the case, that fucking scares me more. Okay? Okay, so we're looking at it, we just don't care. We're like, okay, cool, 50%, sweet. That's 50%, that's awesome. By the way, also, here's also what this means. You ready for this? Most of you are lying to people in your interview.
I didn't get that.
You're lying to people in your interview. To clarify my statement. You're lying to people in your training seminar, because what are you telling them? What's your sales ratio? Liar! You are lying to people. How many of you, by the way, in your interview say that the sales ratio is 70%? You know why? Because in my organization, it fucking is. It actually is. And in fact, we should be saying 68% is what we should be saying. Because the more exact you can be, the better. Because the more certainty you speak with, the more certainty you transfer to people. But if you're saying your sales ratio is 70%, right? Carolina, we need to change that to 60. Or we need to decrease this to 30. Right? Transparency? You probably don't even think about it. You're like, yeah, 70% feels right. like, hey, let's sell more, let's perform more. It's from a place of, hey, let's be people of integrity. Like, let's not just blindly say shit. Hey, bro, this is hard to sell cut. You should have seen the way. You should have seen the way that I spelled Caribbean. Oh, my spell check didn't even know what I was trying to say. It literally typed in a different word. And then I saw the way you actually spelled Caribbean. I was like, nah, that can't be. Oh, shit. Okay. So, you guys get where I'm going with this? I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I did want to start with some emotion here. You know, motion creates emotion. I wanted to start with some emotion because I really felt like if I'm starting there, hopefully that sparks you to do something about it. So, and I also, I want to pair this with some content, so I put together 10 tips to decrease zero sellers by 10%. I love sexy titles. You know, 10 tips to decrease zero sellers by 10%. For some of you, I hope this is like 20%. For some of you, I hope this is decrease zero sellers by 30%. By the way, you know the goal I'm trying to get to? Like when I think about this in my head, what I'm trying to get this zero sellers percentage to? 5%. 5% is my goal. 5% I would say is a good job. So 10 tips decrease zero sellers by 10%. Number 1, recruiting quality control. You know, I think that, you know, we have these preconceived notions over certain markets, right? Like, people see the way that Ketchum cranks year after year, and I know that there's some people, whether it's conscious, subconscious, allowed, or internal, they're like, well, it's Atlanta. Bitch, if they put you in Atlanta, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't, right? Like I tell my branches all the time, it's the manager, not the territory. You can put me in Timbuktu, you can put me in Cairo, Egypt. Okay, and I would build and run and scale a massive multi-million-dollar sales organization in Cairo. Okay? It's not the territory. I think that there's a preconceived notion, you know, in Fairfax. Now, that being said, it's a kick-ass market. I'm fired up to be there. Okay? But it wasn't like my training, like these guys watched my training. It wasn't like we had 0 private school kids in there. All went to public school, half of them went to community college, more than half actually. Like it wasn't this amazing training. And, you know, they were asking me, hey, what do you think this training is gonna pop? I'm like, I don't know, like 15K? You know, we launched 8. I was like, I don't know, I think they'll get 15K out the door. They didn't quite get that. I think they did 10 or 12 or something. And we're like, you have to be intentional about who's getting in front of you, right? Now, this doesn't mean, when I say recruiting quality control, some of you immediately go to what? Ket percentage. Oh my God, Luke, we're here, dude.
We're always.
You want me to go to Ket percentage? Okay, cool, I'll keep less people. Not the answer. Okay, because you know what you do when you only have 2 and 3 people in an interview because you're being so selective? You blow it off. You reschedule them. And then you have 5 people or 10 people or 15 people set for training as a district manager. And you probably reschedule them because you justify to yourself, oh, well, you know, 7 hours with 2 people isn't worth my time. I can find better things to do with 7 hours. And then, let's say you do move those 2 people to a different training center. What do you do for those 7 hours? Exactly. That. You do nothing. So, quality control the recruits, right? I think people wonder, like, how did you go into Fairfax and first summer do $1 million, second summer 800 plus in new, whatever we finish at in total, how is this happening? Why did it blow up so much more in new business summer 1 to summer 2? You know what the answer is? Yeah, which really was derived from what though? Like, why did we did 600 in new last summer, we'll do 800 plus in new this summer?
New PSM, maybe? PRs.
Might have been.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had PR, I had assistant managers to pull PRs from. It wasn't me and Joseph, it wasn't like Joseph and love it, but Nico and Sam Vole, who was homeschooled and didn't even know what Facebook was, basically, trying to like friend our way into circles, right? Now it works, and we did, and I know that, we did 600K in new last summer, but this summer we had the AMs to pull from, the AMs to duplicate initially, and it was warm networks, right? And even though we were doing some adding, we were adding within real warm networks. And so what happened was, those kids walked in, and we pounded campus, and those kids walked in, and when you get it early, it's really, really, really easy to keep the train rolling. When you don't get it early, it's really, really, really hard to get it going. It's possible, it's just really difficult. Okay? So number 1 is recruiting quality control. One thing I focused on was, no matter what, in every single training seminar, can I have 10 to 15 kids that I am really fired up about in front of me? In every interview, can we have 3 to 5 kids that I'm really fired up about? In the interview, in the training, not set, but in it. Which means, okay, if I want to have 3 to 5 in front of me that are like really exciting, we need to have blank set for that interview. If I need to have this 10 to 15 in front of me that I'm really, really excited about, then we need to have blank amount set from XYZ sources that we know we get our highest productivity from. So quality control with your recruits. Number 2, your mindset and expectations. Your mindset and expectations. I think that one of the things that these guys probably took away from observing my training was the simple question of asking me what I expected the training class to sell. Like our productivity's 1,200 first weekend, I think. And, but my expectation was what? 2K ahead. And what it ended up being right at 1,300 first weekend. Like, where are your expectations? Man, you guys remember the results triangle, right? You guys familiar with this results triangle? Pyramid? Results triangle. At the top is what? Okay, so we don't remember this, that's okay. No big deal. At the top is the attitude. So if you're not getting the results you want in any area of your life, it's only one of these 3 things. It's either attitude. And this is like a really easy way to shift this into coaching conversations with reps. It's if you're not getting the results you want, it's one of only 3 things, and only one of 3 things, and it's either attitude. And why is it at the top of the pyramid? Because it affects the others. Or it's behavior. Or it's training. It's attitude, it's behavior, or it's training. So if your reps aren't getting the results that they want, there's only one of those 3 things. If you're not getting the results you want, only one of those 3 things. And I gotta say, I think like the biggest thing is like, are you running training seminars to launch kids? Or are you launching training seminars for kids to go sell? Like, I'm not running the training seminar for the launch. If I sacrifice my launch, like there's been plenty of times where I've had an off launch, but a great pop, and do I wish I would have launched, a couple percentage points higher and had, 3 more bodies out the door? Sure. But I'm not running a training seminar for launch percentage. I'm running a training seminar to teach kids how to sell and for them to go actually do that. So guess what doesn't influence that, in my opinion? Launch percentage. Like, launch percentage isn't going to influence my pop. You know, even if I have half the people not show up the next day, right? You're like, well, that could influence your pop, because then people were like, well, is this legit? Right, you know what I would say to those? I would say, yep, the training is an extension of the interview. So, first aid training is an extension of the interview. So, you do the math. Right? Just find a way to spin that where it doesn't affect it. But the reality is, like, if you don't have the mindset that you are training people to go out there and sell, like this expectation versus launch the rep versus the rep is gonna go sell and be successful, or watch, let me go one level deeper, because here's my expectation. I'm launching reps to hit 30-30. That's why I launch people, to hit 30-30. I tell them in my training seminar, hey, listen, not every rep, but the vast majority of representatives that I train hit the 30% commission level. It's not every one of them, but it's a majority. And I'm speaking that into existence, but like, I really believe that we have an opportunity for Mason Linker type productivity to be a normal thing, even when launching 200 for the summer. I really believe, in my heart, in my soul, I believe that's real, that's out there. I think that will eventually be the norm, like autonomous cars will eventually be the norm, and driving will be something that is like a weird, privileged thing that only like the super wealthy do. That shit's coming, by the way. Okay, number 3, product conviction. Product conviction. All right, you ready for this? You ready for this? Okay. This is where belief lies. And you're never going to have a sales rep who doesn't believe that Cutco's amazing. You're never going to have a sales rep that doesn't believe that it's a great product. You're never going to have that. You're never going to have someone that believes that there's a knife better than Cutco that you've trained. Right? That's a non-issue. Here's where belief lies. How many of you have had a rep quit? You're like, I love the product. I love the product. It's a great product. I really believe in it. But I don't want to sell it to my friends' parents. Right? Here's belief. Here's conviction. Belief, conviction. A judge doesn't say, oh yeah, I believe this person did it. You're going to jail. They go, you are convicted of this crime. It's a conviction. Right? It's not a belief. There's a difference between belief and conviction. You're not trying to develop product belief in the training seminar. Guess where you do that? In the interview. They see you cut a penny, they see you cut the leather, product belief, done. What your job is to do in training is to create product conviction. And I just, listen, the way I do that is I cut shit up. And I let them use the knives a lot. On day 1, I do the Swiss roll of leather. I cut a quarter into a corkscrew with 40-year-old shears. That blows people's minds. It is kind of crazy. Okay, I got the old school silver scissors, and I can take a quarter and cut it to a corkscrew. Try that before you do the training. Our cutting station, they were asking like, how long was this cutting station? We only had 8 people in training, so it wasn't super long. It was maybe 30 minutes. But when we have a bigger training group and we're launching, 2025, we'll do 4 groups of 6, and that cutting station will take us a good hour plus, at least, maybe an hour and a half. And it's not just like, oh yeah, come cut this and come cut that. Right? Like, I am getting them fired about the knives in the way that I would get customers fired up about the knives on demos. Like, I am being tracked. I'm like, do you see that, bro? Like, think about how amazing that is. And just really, like getting this to be, like, deep within them that they feel really good about what they're doing, and they have real, authentic conviction in the product. So, ways you create conviction, obviously the number one way is that people use it. The other thing is PE and OPE, personal experiences, other people's experiences, use lots of stories, testimonials, things of that nature. I remember this is old school, one of the things that Larry used to do way back in the day is he had this like little booklet of testimonials, and some of them were crazy, dude. Like some of you old school peeps in the room might remember like this lady had her car stolen and then they found it at the bottom of the Tennessee River, and she's like, my knives, I sold knives when I was in college, they're probably in the trunk, and they grabbed them out and they were perfect. Sent them back, get them brand new knives. This is like, her car got stolen and while she was in college. This was like 10 years later, they found her car at the bottom of a freaking river. And the knives were in the back, and they were in condition enough where they sent them back for repolishing, resharpening, and she has the same knives that were in her trunk that got stolen. Right, like, I remember Larry had like a booklet of these. Like, there were a bunch of them, dude. Go on Cocko.com. Go on Cocko.com, read some of those testimonials. When you're showing the virtual demo, do you actually let the people talk, or do you just get right past that testimonial portion? Do you talk about the power of social proof in your training seminar? We were talking about, hey, listen, you get paid to see good things about the company. Why are these testimonials so important? Because these people don't. When I'm talking about on page 0, where I'm talking about selling to people that own Cocko. Things like that. But the number one thing is like, how much are you actually using the knives in your training seminar? Product innovation, huge. Creating comfort is number 4. Creating comfort. So what do I mean by this, creating comfort? Comfort in what? Like, what am I talking about creating comfort surrounding? 2. It's not enough for them to just have conviction. It's not enough for them just to be excited. They need to have comfort. And I want to say, like, really the overarching theme of that comfort really surrounds around, like, is really defined by, in my opinion, excitement. To go sell to people that they know. Right? There's a lot of you that have watched and dug into a lot of my training content. What are some of the lines that I use in the training seminar?
People don't buy Cocko, they buy your enthusiasm and belief.
That's one of them.
Does the go out there and make much money for best friend's parents?
This is one of the biggest. This is one of the biggest ones.
But that is gonna happen.
When I'm doing the tips for the demos, right? When I'm going over the tips for the demos, I say, hey, is the goal to go out there and sell a bunch of and make a bunch of money off your mom and your dad and your best friend's parents? Is that the goal? No. Now, it will happen as a byproduct of you being a great customer service rep. You can't be there to make the sale for you. Who do you have to be there for? They're really the one that's winning at the end of the day. Like, even if you have a sale where you make $500, $1,000 in commission, those are cool demos. Those are cool sales. But how long are you going to have that commission for? A couple weeks? A night? A really fun night? How long are people going to have that set of Cocko for? Literally and they will use it daily for the next 2-3 decades.
Right, can you roll track on that one more time?
Yep. So, it's like, hey, listen, is the goal to go out there this weekend and make a bunch of money off your mom and your dad and your best friend's parents? Is that the goal? No, it's not the goal. Now, it will happen as a byproduct of you being a great customer service rep, but you can't be there for you. Who do you have to be there for? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you will have $500, $1,000 in commission on one sale. And those are cool and those are fun. But you know who's really winning? The customer. Because the reality is, like, how long are you gonna have that commission for? Maybe? How long are they gonna have that Cutco for? And they will literally use it daily for the next 2, 3+ decades. Another one, when I'm going over the forever guarantee, right? These Florida Atlanta guys were floored by this. Get some old school Cutco from eBay, go and have it sent back for factory resharpening and repair. Because that shit comes back so sharp. And then take a sheet of paper when you're on the guarantee, and take a chef knife, and just whoosh, 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 slice paper. It really is unbelievable. And that knife, again, like authenticity, like integrity, that knife has been resharpened 2 times at the factory. Now, I don't know if it was sharpened outside that, but I know it's been resharpened twice at the factory. Once in 2010, and then once again in 2015. So, like, that's 4 years of shredded paper. Hasn't been touched since then. It's crazy, dude. And I sliced that up. I go, let me tell you something. This is why I was so excited to show Cutco to my friends and my family first. This is why I was so excited to show Cutco to my friends and my family first. Because for me, I didn't have to be some slick, sleazy salesperson to say, hey, Ms. Jones, you're going to buy this once, you'll use it every single day, you'll never have to replace it. Like, that was something I took a lot of pride in. So, I'll do that one again. So you slice up the paper. Let me tell you something, gang. Like, what you're seeing right here, this page, this forever guarantee, this was the reason I was so excited to show Cutco to the people that I knew first. This is why. Because I didn't have to be some slick, sleazy salesperson to say, hey, Ms. Jones, listen, you're going to buy this once and use it every single day, you'll never have to replace it. One of the reasons I was so excited to show Cutco to people that I knew is that I never felt like I had to leverage my integrity. All I did was read the book. Other phrases that create comfort in like just surrounding, like them being comfortable. I think you not only need to get them comfortable with selling to friends and family, but you need to get them comfortable selling something expensive to their friends and family. Right? Like, it's not just selling to their friends and family, it's selling something expensive to their friends and family. So, this is a new one, and even those of you that have dug into my training probably don't have this one. So I go, hey, listen, this is when they're in the manual with the bullet points where it talks about when people ask for prices, right? Okay, so training class, listen, if people ask for prices in the middle of your demo, is that a good thing? You know what's funny? You know what most reps say to that question? Most of them say no, actually. They go, no, I go, actually, it's a really, really good thing. Imagine you're in a retail store, there's a shirt, there's no price tag on it. What is the only reason you would ask the associate how much that shirt costs? Because you want to buy it. It's called an obvious buying signal. Okay? So when people ask you how much something costs during the presentation, right, Darren, ask me how much a medium set costs.
How much is the medium size?
It's really, really expensive and worth every penny. It's really, really expensive and worth every penny. And then here's the kicker, guys. Here's the part that even though those who have done this in the training probably don't have this because this is new. I go, and by the way, Trey, that's why you're in this room. Because let's be real about this. If this was some low quality, crappy product, is that something that you would want to attach your name to? Sell to friends and family, people that you know? The only reason you're sitting in here is because it's high quality and expensive. You wouldn't be sitting in here if it wasn't. That's the only reason you're sitting in this room, is because it's high quality and expensive. Would you want to go sell some low quality, crappy product that you know is going to break down or need to be replaced in the next year or two to people that you know? Is that something you would want to attach your name to? No way. And by the way, they answer like with a very steadfast response. They're like, no. No, watch when you ask me this question. Like it gets a little bit of an emotional response. You're like, no. You're like, that's why you're here. Because it's high quality, because of it, it's expensive. If it wasn't expensive, you wouldn't even be sitting in this room. Right? So getting them to, like, just creating comfort surrounding not only selling for the first time, but selling something expensive to people that they know. Okay. Number 5, demo quality control. So, you know, whatever you say, I don't care if you call them soccer moms like we do. I don't care if you call them HM3s. I don't care if you call them 3Ms. I don't give a shit what you call them. All I do know is that you gotta make sure your people are seeing their best customers, not their easiest customers. And if you're not defining that clearly to them, what's probably the likelihood? They're seeing their easiest. They are misconstruing what this is designed to go out and do, right? I can't tell you how many times when we're doing the brainstorming activity and transitioning into top best 5, top 10, fast start 20, that I'm like, hey, listen, your first demos are not for practice. These first demos are not for experience. They are for confidence. These first demos, they're not for practice. Practice? We're talking about practice, man?
Yeah.
These are not for practice. These are not for experience. Oh, I want to go get experience. Experience what? Having a no sale? They're not for experience. They are for confidence. So, I want to make it clear. I said your best customers, not your easiest customers to set up for appointments. By the way, grandma might be one of your easiest, but maybe she's not one of your best. No, maybe she is. Some of you, she probably is. That's great. But your best customers, not your easiest. And like I repeat that same, like very similar phrasing the entire time that they're taking and like ranking their best 5, top 10, fast start 20. Okay? And then when I'm talking about scheduling, demo quality control. I mean, I don't know this for a fact, and you know, people like Larry, Ketchum, Gimbo have a lot more experience than me, and maybe they can like let me know if this feels accurate. But I really feel the likelihood of retaining a rep past their first weekend if they have a no sale on their first demo is no greater than a coin toss. It's no greater than 50%. Like if they have a no sale on their first demo, flip a coin. One side of that coin says they're going to retain past their first weekend. One side of the coin says they're not. I would probably say it's 50%. It might be higher than that. It might be 60-40. It might be 70-30. Like if you're in here right now and you're thinking, well, I have no sale. I'm here. Cool, dude. You're the anomaly. Right? That's why you're a district manager. So here's the deal. Dude, they've got to make a sale on that first demo. They've got to make a sale on that first demo. Especially, holy shit, listen to this, especially fall spring. Because I can guarantee you they're going to have a little bit more grit in the summertime when they don't have school going on and shit like that than when they have school. And I listen, dude, I'm just telling you, in today's day and age, instant gratification, participation trophy type millennials, if they had a no sale on that first, they'd be like, fuck this. This isn't worth my time to do around my classes. I'm out. Like, they will make that decision that quickly. I also think they'll make the decision to retain that quickly and easily if they have a significant sale in that first demo. So like that first demo is so important. So you gotta protect those demo openings on Friday night. It's like, hey, most of you have probably 3 openings on Friday night. Whether it's, I want to see every single one of you do at least 2 of them. If you want to do all 3, go for it. If you can only do 1, that's okay. Talk to me one-on-one and just let me know why, and we'll work around that, no big deal. But I want to see everyone in the room do 2 of those 3 openings on Friday night. And who do you want to reserve these openings for? 2 of your best 3 customers. 2 of your best 3 customers. Do not put anyone else in those time slots. You might, and I know it's what you're thinking right now. Well, what if they don't get any of them? What if they don't go get it? They're gonna book one of them, dude. Okay, they're gonna, and do your job, and make sure they do. Right? You're telling me that every single one of their top 5 is gonna be out of town and unable to see them on Friday night? Get out of here, dude. Okay? So, demo quality control. Those first demos, those first sales. And what I tell people is this, I go, hey, listen, these first, you have 3 openings on Friday night. I want to see everyone in the room complete their best 2 when they walk out of training tomorrow. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, most of you go out and do that, you're probably going to knock out your first promotion tonight, if not on your very first day. So I think the demo quality control is really, really important. By the way, I'm not like stringent to the point of, tell me who you see. Right? I think some of you are like Gestapo when it comes to these demos. Right? You're like, they're not married? No! Right? Like listen, if their aunt is divorced, but they're in their top 3, they're in their top 3. Like, you don't need to talk them out of their aunt being in their top 3 because she's divorced. Right? Like, I think so many times, like, we actually do the exact opposite of what we're attempting to do in building confidence by over-instructing and like over micromanaging things. Like, I don't care if the aunt's married, I don't care if the aunt lives in a townhouse, I don't care if she lives in a house, it doesn't matter if they put them in the top 3, there's a reason, so what do you need to find out? Yes, because that right there is what instills the confidence. Right? I was teaching this to someone the other day, I can't remember, we were in the office and I was teaching the coaching conversation where I go, hey, Andrew, you have the demo coming up. It's your first one of the day. That's exciting. Who are you seeing?
I'm seeing Aunt Susan.
Nice. Was your Aunt Susan one of your best 5 customers?
Yeah, she's actually for Jim.
Cool, dude. Hey, so how are you feeling about this? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you're gonna make a sale this morning?
I feel pretty good. I think she might get something.
Cool. If like you had to put a number on it, what would it be?
Like a 7, 8.
Cool. Now, most of you in the room, your first inclination is to do what? You want to get them to a 10. You're like, what the fuck? You went through my training. Why are you a 10? Right? Here's the question that you need to ask though. Hey, why a 7 or an 8 and not a 5, Andrew? Because now what he's going to do is tell me what? The reason that he's confident they're going to buy. If I go, well, why a 7 and not a 10? What is he now going to tell me? All the reasons he's not going to sell. Right? Like, what do we want to tap him into? So I don't give a shit if he says 4. We go, sweet, dude. Why 4 and not a 2? And then, by the way, a lot of times when saying 4, I might also be like, hey, if you're only a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe this is something that we should see after your fast start. Because the reality is, if that's your expectation going into this presentation, the outcome probably is going to be what you want. But once you develop more experience and more confidence, I bet that 4 turns into a 7, 8, 9, and then you definitely go make a sale. So the question is, would you rather have a no sale this weekend or a sale a week or 2 from now? So when I'm doing this demo quality control, if I do get someone that says like a pretty like a number that I'm like that does throw me a little bit, even a 6 throws me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But if someone says like a fucking 4, this is the first weekend, their best 5 customers, I'm gonna go, hey Andrew, no problem, why 4, not a 2? And I'm gonna still tap them into the confidence. I would say, hey Andrew, you know, just from some perspective, some food for thought. You know, if your expectation going into this demo is that you have a 40% chance of making a sale, and you made a 40 on the test, that would be failing. You know, Andrew, I just really feel like with that type of customer, you would make a sale with confidence and experience, right? And that 4 with some confidence and experience, knocking a couple promotions, going through some advanced training and doing a good, 20, 30 demos. I bet that 4 goes to like a 7, 8, 9. So the question is, would you rather have a no sale this weekend or a sale a week or 2 from now? And that's how you get them to not do the demos you don't want them to do without being like, reschedule this person. They're not on the target market. Right? Because then you're kind of the dick. And then they also go like, well, what the hell? I guess I'm trying to get this $17, dude. Right? And then you're like reinforcing that feeling even more. So demo quality control. Okay, I gotta roll here. Dirty 30 promotion and pay review. I think this is so critical. Okay? Because, and I could take a lot longer on this, but I'm not gonna be able to. So I could probably give a 30-minute message on this one slide, but let me just start by saying this. Long-term vision helps to overcome short-term adversity. Long-term vision helps to overcome short-term adversity. If they really have a vision and a clear path to hitting Dirty 30, if they do have that no sale or 2 on their first couple demos, you will be able to retain them a higher percentage of the time than if that like Dirty 30 desire isn't present. So I think that the Dirty 30 promotion and the pay review is really important for like shaping expectations and getting them to have some vision beyond just their first couple demos, right? I had DVM aspirations throughout my entire career as a district manager, and that helped me overcome short-term, sometimes long-term, based on the way you want to make that scale, adversity, or challenges, or poor performance, right? And it's the same thing with sales reps. Like every single team meeting is a sales pitch of what? Why they should get the Dirty 30 and stay. Every single team meeting. Right? Every single thing they sell, one step closer to Dirty 30. One step closer to Dirty 30. Couple promotions left for Dirty 30. And then when they start to get close, you use that verbiage, and then you have to also pair it with, but remember, Dirty 30 is not the finish line, it's the starting point. But remember, Dirty 30 is not the finish line, it's the starting point. You have to start to pair that when they get close. Because if you don't, they're going to get there, and what's going to happen? They're going to feel like they arrived, and then they're not going to produce. They're just not. So this pay review, Dirty 30 promotion is really, really important. It hasn't changed, I don't think, maybe at all since the videos that were recorded before, but it's powerful, it's full of certainty, it's full of like trainer certainty, it's full of like program certainty, it's full of vision, it's full of expectation. So when this content comes out, and even the content that's already out, that's something you can dig into. But I think this is a really big thing to get people thinking past just the first couple demos. So Dirty 30 review, number 7. Training stop-buys. Joe, since you did the editing, what duration of time, like elapsed time, did stop-buys make up on my day 1 of training?
I couldn't even tell you, but I think if it was 45 minutes, an hour, I don't think that'd be off.
Yeah. Probably an hour of my 7-hour training are stop-by introductions. How many did we have come in? Yeah, plus we had 5 or 6 stop in, plus I did everybody else that was there. So we had 5 or 6 that came by, and then I did Jeremy, and Samantha Strange was in the room, and I did her, and Bella was in the room running an interview, so I did her, and Zach Joe stopped by, and I did him, and Morgan Hughes, and Emily Son, and Carlin Schneider, and all these people, and and they were asking like, do you prep them? And I don't think it's a bad thing to prep them, but I don't. Because I'm really confident they're going to give me the right answers because you know what? They know what the right answers are, even though, like, they don't know that. Does that make sense? Like, they know what the right answers are, even though they don't know that. When I go, hey, without prepping people, if you ask anyone in your org, you want to really be able to gauge the health, the culture of your organization, ask people what's the number one thing you would have done differently in their fast start. If they don't say more demos, your organization has a lack thereof CPO and demo culture. Right? Like if the response to that question isn't more demos, something's off. Something's really off. Every single person I ask that question to, 100% of the people go, I would do more demos. Cool, do you cut food on demos? Yup. What do you cut? Right, you want me to just do a full training introduction? Okay, so, hey, so guys, this is Darren Gardner. Dan started with us back in 2007. Darren was, Darren, what'd you sell your first 10 days on the job?
Like $3 grand. I was out of town for most of it.
So Darren was, and he doesn't mind me saying this because he knows this too. Darren was a underperforming representative when he was new. Like when he was new, he was probably one of the worst representatives in his training seminar, definitely bottom 50%. Darren, how many appointments did you complete?
11 or 12.
Okay, you were working around exams and stuff as you were finishing school?
Yeah, because I was out of town, so I just went home second weekend.
And if you could have done anything differently your first 10 days, what would you have done?
Dude, if I could have had that whole time, I would have been on that wall.
Yeah, more demos?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, do you cut food on appointments?
Of course.
What do you cut?
Tomatoes, carrots, pineapples for investments.
Ooh,
I'm really
nice.
excited about, so.
Cool. What's been your favorite part about selling Cutco?
Just, it's a lot of fun, just seeing how much better it is.
Yeah.
People really like it.
Yeah. And you've been in a management role this summer.
Yeah.
What have you enjoyed most about leading people?
Dude, it's cool running interviews.
It is.
Yeah.
People calling you Mr. Gardner?
Yeah.
It's cool, isn't it? And what are you, Darren, what are you training to do next summer?
I want to run my own office.
And why are you excited about that?
Just, I mean, that'd be cool, just to have my own team, like really be leading something.
Yeah. Darren, if you could give the group a tip, or two, what's it you to give the group on really crushing their first 10 days on the job?
Just do as many demos as possible. One thing I did do is I didn't have as much time, but I filled every opening I could.
Cool.
So do a lot of demos and then just have fun. It's pretty easy.
Cool. Anything else? Any other tips you give the group?
No, I mean, just listen to Bryan.
Yeah, I slipped him $100 to say that. Hey, Darren, by the way, do people on the phone tell you they're going to buy from you?
Not usually. If they have Cutco sometimes, but if they don't.
What do most of them say?
Yeah, most of them are like, oh yeah, sure, I'll meet with you, and then
And then what happens when you get there?
they buy.
Every time, right? Yeah. That's a training stop by. And it's the same questions every time with every single person. And almost I feel like that's the reason it doesn't need to be prepped. Because as reps, they heard the stop bys. And now that they're doing the stop bys, they already are kind of like subconsciously prepped on what my questions are going to be. And they kind of already know what answers to give because they've seen other people give those answers prior to them. Right? But these training stop bys are huge. Guys, it's the same thing as using name dropping to make sales as the new sales rep. When you know when you were a new rep and you really started to figure shit out was when you started to learn how to name drop. You guys remember how powerful that shit was when you first learned that? Like, oh yeah, Susan down the street, you know Susan? Okay, oh yeah, she has this set. And Betty from the book club, yeah, she has this set too. And like, you saw yourself just like start to blow up from CPO, you're like, whoa. That is the same thing as training stop bys. Training stop bys is name dropping, but in real life. Like imagine if Betty came with you to the demo and was like, yeah, I have this set. Right? Powerful. Okay, those are training stop bys. It is real life, in-person testimonials. Because no matter how good you are running training, no matter how certain you are, and I'm pretty damn certain, there's always people who are thinking in the back of their head like, sales back-to-back All-American scholarship-winning assistant manager Zach Jose, on the second day of training, literally walked up to me and was like, so I got a question. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I go, what's your question, bro? He goes, so you're telling me this works? I'm like, Zach, what are you asking me? He's like, so you're telling me that all I have to do is read this book and cut some stuff up, and that people are going to buy these knives? Dude, we've been doing this for 70 years. We do $250 million in sales annually. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Okay. Right? And I know it's Zach Jose is thinking that, who's now a $100,000 sales rep. A lot more of your reps are thinking that than you realize. Right? And I think this is really what begins to silence that like creeping doubt, like, is this really gonna work? That skepticism. The training stop buys are huge. Number 8, first weekend management. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you some examples of like my PDI conversations if someone has a no sale. You know, I came up under Larry. Larry, I remember when like coming up in the business, Larry always said, your office either has a selling culture or a no sale culture. Like either when your PDI phone rings, you don't want to answer it because you know most of those calls are fucking no sales. Or you're fired up to answer it and you answer on the first ring because there's sales almost every single time, right? So, if you have a no-sale culture in your office right now, and a lot of us do, including myself, here's how you change that. In training, someone calls in with a no-sale, right? Brent, call in for, we're going to call in for your coaching call. You're going to role play with me. You're going to tell me you have a no-sale, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Bring. Fast Car Hotline, things are rocking. This is Bryan. Who's this?
Hey Bryan, it's Brent.
Brent, what's up, dude? How are you?
I'm alright, man. I just got done with the demo.
Oh, yeah? Tell me. By the way, that was spot on. That was spot on, you Brent, dude.
Whole presentation.
Cool, dude. Well, tell me about it. How'd you feel?
Really great. Well, it went good, but I didn't sell anything.
Okay. Hey. So, all right. So, well, first of all, Brent, let's not define a demo in which you didn't sell anything as it going good. Like, I'm not coming down on you whatsoever. I'm going to use this as a teaching opportunity, but let's start there, right? I don't want to define a demo that you didn't have a sale as a demo that went well. But let me ask you this. What did you feel good about? Like, what did you feel like you did well? Okay, time out. Do you see that transition? Like that transition from whoa, that's not good, into, but tell me what you did feel good about. It's like honoring the fact that you didn't mean to come off like, oh yeah, I feel like I did a really good job, but it's also at the same time like really cementing this idea of, that's not good, while not making them feel like shit about it. So Brent, what did you feel good about?
When we cut up the food, it seemed like she was really into it.
So she was into the knives.
Yeah, she liked
Cool. So you had fun doing that.
it. Yeah.
Great. What else? What else did you feel good about?
You know, I liked catching up with them and talking with her.
Cool. So you like build rapport with customers, relationships?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be kind of cool over the next couple weeks catching up with some people that you may not have seen in a while, right? I mean, kind of catching up with like friends' parents and parents' friends and stuff.
Right.
That is one of the fun parts about the job. I like that about it too. What else did you feel like went well?
Well, when I got to the sets, I think she liked some of the sets.
Cool. So why did she buy them? Did she just not like the knives? Okay.
No, she liked knives. Go ahead.
So this is key. So sometimes they start off like Brent did, where they're like, hey, just finished your demo. Sometimes they just come out and say, they're like, hey, I just finished the demo. I didn't sell anything. Right? So, and so I'll work through it like this if I get the like, so after the, hey, I just finished the demo. I'm like, oh, great, talk to me about it, dude. How'd it go? How'd you feel? What'd you sell? Oh, we're good. I didn't sell anything, right? And that's how I had that conversation. So eventually I would get to,
Same spot.
yeah, that same spot, which is, this is so key, the way that you say this. It's like, so, you didn't sell anything, what? Did she just like, not like the knives? Essentially what I'm insinuating and asking that question is what? The only reason that they wouldn't buy the knives, that they wouldn't buy something, is that they didn't like them. That is essentially what I'm insinuating. Is that the only reason that someone wouldn't buy Cutco is that they didn't like the knives? Are you with me on this? Okay, so let's role play Stones. Let's role play the like just straight off the bat, no sale. Right? So you ready for this? Okay, bring. Hello, this is Faster Hurlman. Things are rocking. This is Bryan. Who's this?
Michael.
Michael Stones. What's up, dude?
No, much just got finished, got a no sell.
Oh. Huh. That's weird. What? They just like not like the knives?
No, they liked them.
Okay. So, just out of curiosity, what was the reason for not getting something?
They said it was too much.
Said it was too much money.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I heard that objection as a rep. Are you cool if I kind of help you navigate that?
Yeah.
Cool. So, okay, so Pete, time out. First reaction is what?
Surprise.
Huh. That's weird. Did they, just not like the knives? And I literally do it with that tonality, those facial expressions, even though I'm on the phone, they can't see my facial expressions, they can feel them. They can feel me like genuinely being what? You want to create a selling culture in your office? You want to decrease zero sellers? This is how you do it. Oh, that's weird. What, did they just not like the knives? And they always say, oh no, they love the knives. They just couldn't afford it. Oh, gotcha. Were they, hey Michael, might I just ask you some questions to kind of help you navigate this?
Yeah.
How did you know the customer?
How'd I know?
Yeah, what kind of relationship did you have with the customer? How did you know?
It was my mom's, best friend.
Okay, cool. And is she working?
Yeah.
Is she married?
No.
Okay. Is she supporting the kids? Is she a single mom?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's first of all recognize the fact that maybe a single mom has a little bit less disposable income than a family that has two incomes. So I can get there. Let me ask you this, Michael. They can buy just one knife though, right? Like a trimmer?
Yeah, she said she wanted the homemaker or nothing, because she wanted the set.
In there, dude.
Yeah.
And almost it kind of feels good because you're like, oh, cool. But it doesn't feel good walking out with a no sale.
Yeah.
They can just buy one knife though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one knife is what? How much is a trimmer?
73.
$70. But she told you she couldn't afford the knives?
Yeah, she said she didn't get paid till next week.
So let me ask you this, Michael. Do you really believe that?
No.
Okay, good. Because at the end of the day, you and I both know that everyone can afford $70. Even if they got laid off, but they don't have a job, they can afford $70, right? So, Stones, let me ask you this. What do you think the real reason she didn't buy the knives is? Okay, that's exactly what the rep does for probably the first time. They start to really what? Think and dissect. They go, huh. You know what their first answer is 90% of the time? Huh. I don't know. And I go, well, if you did know, what would you tell me? Because I'm going to force them to think. I don't just want to, because that's not going to, that's giving the fish versus teaching the fish, right? Feed them for the night versus feed them for the rest of their life. So I'm going to go, okay. Well, so if you did know, what would you tell me? The reason they wouldn't buy them. You can say something. Say whatever you want.
Let me think about it more.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Michael, think back to the training seminar. Remember when we were going through the pages of the training manual? What page did I tell you? I said, if you nail this page, you will sell something on every presentation that you do. I told you I couldn't tell you how much or how little it's going to be. I couldn't tell you how big or how small it's going to be, but I can tell you that I guarantee that if you nail this page, you will sell something on every presentation. Remember what page that is?
Truckman page.
That's right. Why, Michael?
Grammar problem.
Yes. So when we really dial this back, what is the real reason Miss Jones didn't buy the knives?
Maybe fair problem.
She didn't really feel like she needed them. So what she told you was, I can't afford it, I don't get paid till next week, I love it, I want to get the homemaker later. But we know that that's like, she just doesn't want to be rude and say, I just really don't need them that badly. I love them. I just don't really want them or need them that badly. Can I give you some tips on like improving that for the future? Okay. Enthusiasm sells. Go get more excited about the knives on your demo. Cut more food. The more they use the product, the more excited they get about it. And when you get to page 3, dude, get into it with your facial expressions and your body language. Like, don't just read through it like, yeah, Ms. Jones wouldn't handle is there absorb grease or bacteria. Like, really get into it with your body language and your tonality. Okay, remember, the expectation creates reality. Now, Michael, can I tell you what's cool about a no sale? No sales do suck, but can I tell you what's cool about a no sale? We sell 3 out of 4 times on average, 2 out of 3 times on average. So every one no sale guarantees you 2 or 3 sales in a row. So tell me about who you're seeing next.
I'm gonna see my grandma next.
Oh, nice. Grandmas always buy sets. He might want to scale 1 to 10. Where would you rate your confidence level that you're going to make a sale on this appointment?
Probably like a 9.
Damn. That feels good, doesn't it? Like you're going to walk in, you're walking into this demo knowing that you're making a sale. Why a 9 and not like a 7?
Grandma loves me and she loves to cook.
Dude, if she loves you and loves to cook, like tell me, what do you think she's going to get?
At least a homemaker.
I would say that's like the bare bones minimum, but it's probably what, Stones? Probably. So hey, have a ton of fun, cut a lot of food, remember enthusiasm sells, and make sure that you call me when you're working with grandma. If she loves the knives and the only thing holding her back is the price, call me, we will hook her up with a slamming deal. Cool? All right, go rock your next demo, bro. That would be an example of a PDI conversation first weekend with a no-sale. All right, thank you. So you're really managing the first weekend closely. Number 9 is 18-1 attendance. You want to decrease 0 sellers? Get the ones that didn't sell back. Get everyone to that 18. If you really look at it, the reality is the people that don't show up to 18 are the 0 sellers probably. So you can probably pretty easily gauge your 18-1 attendance based on your launch on your 0 seller percentage. Okay? So 18-1 attendance, this is critical. Good luck, Snowy. You can just turn people's careers, expectations on a dime in the advanced training. Because now they've actually gone out, they've done a couple demos, and what you can do moving forward is you can create, look up here, Luke's on stage too, okay, look at me. So you can create this feeling of, I don't care how much you sold, what you're at, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Stop judging yourself. You're not supposed to be good at this yet. You've been doing it for 2 days. Did Michael Jordan become Michael Jordan in 2 days? Did Tiger Woods become Tiger Woods in 2 days? Did Jeff Bezos become Jeff Bezos in 2 days? No. It takes time, repetition to get good at anything. So if you can just get them back to that AT1, I feel like you have a pretty good chance of getting them to sell and retain. Because you get them to feel good. Right? You gotta realize, like, some of these kids, when they're going home, what are they hearing the entire time they're at home? Waste of time. This is stupid. Get a real job. You're not seeing any of my, you can't call any of my friends. Like, they're getting beat up, dude. And then here some of you are beating them up on PDI more. Right? Throwing them through the grinder. Right? Real shit. Okay? AT1 attendance. Get them to feel good. If you can get them there, you can get them to feel good, you can get them to stop judging themselves for 2 seconds, and you can provide some perspective for them, and you can provide some stories. Hey, why do you think people finish pushes so strong? Because you tell them so many stories that they eventually start to what? Believe. You tell them so many stories, and then they have that one demo where they sell an ultimate set or a Siggy after you said that story. They're like, oh my God, it's real. It's happening for me. Right? Joseph, one of your fast starters, Eva, one of my favorites that I met on tour, gave me a check for $5,000 for withholdings. This girl's only at 18K in career sales. She is a badass. Going to Georgetown in the fall. What did she sell her first weekend?
600.
What did she sell for her fast start?
10,400.
I've been doing this for a long time. It's pretty rare to have a rep sell $600 first weekend and go on and have a 10K fast start.
Bates was 800, did over 10.
That's rare. That's all getting people in and getting them to believe and getting them to feel good about where they are. And then you have to, but here's the big part. You have to make sure that feel good materializes into results. Action, meaning they need to have demos set after your advanced training. So the most important demos, in my opinion, for people to have are the 2 or 3 after day 1 and the 2 or 3 after advanced training 1. In my opinion, those are the most important demo slots. Like, we see a big pop on Monday nights after AT1. And what is it? It's the placebo effect. At some degree, it's the placebo effect. It's the Space Jam halftime magic water. Right? That's what AT1 can be. Plus some like real implementable content. And now it's go time. Get into AT1. If you want to retain them, you gotta get into AT1. That's not to say that we don't have people quit first weekend. We do. Plenty of them. More than you, because we probably recruited more than you. So it happens too, but like my mission is, my personal mission is, can we get 90% of people back to advanced training 1? Doesn't always work out like that, but when I say like 90%, I mean 90% present and accounted for. Not like 90% need to be sitting in the office, because you always have a shitload of conflicts, right? But I know that prior, and I already have a contingency plan in place. Whether it's they come in Tuesday morning 8 to 10, they come in an hour or like an hour and a half early on Wednesday. Whether it's, hey, come in early on Tuesday, but I'm also going to have you come to next week's advanced training, so go ahead and block out the next Monday from this time to this time. And now they're what? Now they're committed until at least when? Next Monday. Right? So it's like making sure that you have a contingency plan if people do have conflicts, and like just being really, like, I remember being a new manager and man, conflicts used to piss me off. I swear to God. When people had another job. You know what my sole mission was? Get them to quit. That's a surefire way to lose that person pretty quickly. Okay, now I do the push way, and I learned this from Darren. I'm like, hey, listen, don't even think about putting in a 2 weeks notice until you've hit the quit your other job level. That's $6,000 in career sales. At 6K, you've earned $1,000, you're making 25% commission, and you and I both know no matter what, even on a shit week here, you're still gonna make more money than you would at your other job. Right, and it's a push away. Versus that, well, you have another job, quit. Right, I am so like low key with conflicts. When I'm doing scheduling, I'm like, hey, by the way, if you do have conflicts, no problem at all. Just make sure you talk to me about it one-on-one, we'll work it out for you, no worries. What did we tell them the job revolved around? But then we get in here and we like try to put all this rigid structure, come here now, come here then, right? Can't do that. Grinder. Okay, you can't do that to them, dude. All right. Office culture. Here's one thing that you need to audit. Does it mean something to work in your organization? Does it really mean something to be from the Fairfax Pie? Do people take pride when they go into an event saying that they're from your office? Some of you I know they do because I've seen your teams at SC2. Some of you I know they don't because I've seen your teams at SC2. Okay? It has to mean something to come from your office. There has to be something there that's going to keep them around long term. There has to be some pride associated with that. Part of that culture is stop-bys. Part of that culture is event attendance. Part of that culture that really was big for us this summer was field training. That was huge for us this summer. But does it really mean something? Because, you know, if this is just some little knife selling job, I'm not like that passionate and like attached to performing at a high level in the job. I saw that. Well done. Culture, there has to be a culture. What's one of the things that's, I'll tell you, one of the things that's kept probably a lot of you here in the room is that culture. It's the same thing with your reps. I just think about like if you get them to stick around, you're gonna decrease your zero cell ratio. If it means something to be from your office and they're excited to be at their first team meeting, even if they have a rocky couple days, they're still gonna come. And then eventually, it's gonna click and they're gonna sell. So, like having a culture that's dynamic, having a culture that's centered around like pride. Like I like it when I see like an office culture has a little bit of swag. I like that. You know? Like I know how much culture you have by the way that your guys do team chants at the SC2 push countdown. I know what kind of culture your organization has divisionally. I know what kind of culture your office has. I know what kind of culture that is the easiest way to see what kind of culture your organization has. And by the way, some of it was brutal. It really was. Luke and I were up there. Some of it was like I'm trying to do their team chant for them afterwards. Now, part of that is like sheer number of people there, but even from does it mean something to be from blank division, blank office, blank branch, blank district team? You know, I think, I don't know this for a fact, but I imagine still to this day Amir takes pride in being from like my office lineage. And that is culture. That is culture. And I think this influences your zero cell ratio way more dramatically than you realize. Because what really influences retention, people are excited to be there, and it means something to be there, you're going to be able to retain them longer. They're going to want to perform because it's what people in the organization do. Partly because they want to sell, but partly because they want to be congruent and in alignment with the organization and the culture of it, what everyone else is doing. If the cool kids sell, guess what? Even the lame kids will. So, I think also, just another quick aside on this, one of the things that's in our office culture is the idea of bageling. This is a term from the door-to-door sales industry. They love this term. You know, some of you guys probably don't use this phrasing often, but I talk about bagels. Bagels is a 0 day. Yo, our sales reps talk so much shit to each other if they're bageling for a day or bageling for a week. Like, that is one of the things that's in our culture. It's like, dude, you bagel? Oh my God. Like, people will eat you alive. It doesn't matter if you're on vacation. Bagel, dude? You even sell a freaking turning fork? Come on, you can't bagel. And sometimes I tell the story that I have buddies that work in the door-to-door industry, and if you have if you bagel 3 days in a row in summer door-to-door sales, you know what they do? They send you packing. See ya. Pack your shit. Skippy. Get out of that time of the chair. You're out. They'll send you home. 3 bagels. So, guys, I'm excited to partner with all of you in diving into and shifting this culture and these results dramatically over the next 8 months. And can we be on a mission that regionally, like, we make more moves as an organization than anyone in the country does in this area? You know, can you imagine if our productivity just stayed the same and our zero seller ratio decreased by 15 or 20%, what would happen? You know, can we be on mission as a region to be at 25% zero sellers as a region? Not as like an outlier office, but that is the standard, and we have people that are much better than that. Appreciate your time, excited to dig in, let's grow this fall.